Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into some of the most common and sometimes tricky words you'll find in high-level writing, like the editorials in the Hindu. We're going to give you 12 words that will seriously level up your understanding. So, let's get started.
You know that feeling, right? You're reading a really important article, trying to get to the heart of the matter, and you just keep hitting these words that slow you down. It almost feels like you're trying to read a different language. Well, today, we are going to fix that.
And believe it or not, the answer is right here on this single page. I want you to think of these 12 words as a brand new toolkit. Once you really get them, you'll start seeing them everywhere, and those complex articles are suddenly going to seem a whole lot clearer. All right, so we're going to tackle these words in a few groups. First up, the vocabulary of crisis. These are the words that journalists and analysts use to describe big, often negative situations. You know, the words that should really set the alarm bells ringing.
First up is fragmented. This is what you use when something that should be whole has been broken into pieces. Think about a political party that's splintered or a global response that's completely disjointed. It's the exact opposite of something being unified or whole.
Next, we have perilous. Now this is a huge signal of a high-stakes situation. When you see perilous, the writer is telling you to pay attention because the road ahead is packed with risk. It's so much more intense than just saying something is difficult.
And hey, if perilous is a warning sign, catastrophic is the 5-alarm fire. This isn't just a bad outcome we're talking about. It's a total and complete disaster. Think ruinous policies or devastating natural events. The word itself screams the highest possible level of harm.
So where does a word like abysmal fit in all this? Well, this one's all about quality, and it means the quality is at rock bottom. You'll read about abysmal economic performance or abysmal living conditions. It is the absolute polar opposite of excellent.
Our next word, alarming, does exactly what it sounds like. It's a warning bell going off in the middle of a sentence. An alarming trend or alarming statistics. These are phrases designed to grab you by the collar and say, hey, something worrying is happening here, and we need to deal with it. And finally, to round out our crisis section, we have pessimistic. This isn't about the situation itself, but the viewpoint on it. It's that tendency to expect the worst possible outcome. An analyst might have a pessimistic forecast for the markets, which is of course the direct opposite of an optimistic one. Okay, time to shift gears. Now that we have the words to describe the problems, we need the tools to actually analyze them. This next set of words is all about getting to the why and the how behind the headlines. When a writer uses the word underscore, they're basically holding up a giant neon sign that says, "This part matters." If a report underscores the need for reform, the author is telling you loud and clear, this is the most crucial point, the main takeaway.
Oh, I love the word trajectory. It's not just for rockets and planets. You can talk about the trajectory of a company, a new policy, or an entire country's economy. The question it always asks is simple. Where is this thing headed? Is its path pointing up, down, or is it just stuck?
Next up, prevalence. This word is all about one simple question. How common is something? Is a certain belief widespread in a society? Is a disease becoming more frequent? The prevalence of an issue tells you just how big and widespread it really is.
Think of the word pertinent as your information filter. In a really complex debate with lots of noise, a smart analyst focuses only on the pertinent facts, the ones that are directly relevant and actually matter to the conversation. Everything else is just a distraction.
All right, for our final section, we're looking at words that describe a world that is always in motion. Nothing ever stays the same, right? Well, these next two words help us capture that dynamic, ever-changing nature of events.
First, fluidity. This describes any situation that is not set in stone. If you hear about a political situation with a high degree of fluidity, it means alliances are shifting, the outcome is uncertain, and really anything could happen. It's the total opposite of a rigid, stable system.
And our final word is slackening. This is all about a decrease in momentum. You might read about a slackening of economic growth, which means it's slowing down. Or maybe a storm is slackening in intensity. It just means the energy, the speed, is fading. So there you have it, 12 words, all organized into this powerful new toolkit. You've got the words of crisis to help you describe the problem, the words of analysis to understand the why, and the words of change so you can track how things are evolving. See, by mastering this vocabulary, you're not just learning a list of words, you're gaining a whole new lens to see the world through. So the real question is, now that you have this toolkit, what complex stories are you going to go out and unlock?